Have you ever thought about what's living all around you, totally unseen? Right now, on every surface, inside your own body, in every drop of water, there's this huge, invisible world just teeming with life. We're talking about microorganisms, and trust me, they're about to change the way you see everything.
So, what's the verdict on these tiny, super powerful beings? Are they here to help us, our greatest friends, or are they our deadliest foes? That's the big question we're diving into. All right, so before we can even begin to answer that, we have to wrap our heads around the sheer scale of it all. I mean, we are totally surrounded by this universe of life, a hidden world that outnumbers us in ways that are just mind-boggling.
And the variety is just staggering. You've got algae, protozoa, viruses, all coexisting in this really delicate balance. And this amazing diversity isn't just out in nature somewhere. Nope, it's literally everywhere. On the phone you're holding right now, in the air you're breathing, and in the ground beneath your feet.
Okay, so what exactly is a microorganism? The definition is pretty simple. It's any living thing, whether it's one cell or a few, that's just too small for us to see with our own eyes. It's a simple definition for sure, but it covers a world of unbelievable complexity, a world that completely shapes our own.
And get this, their resilience is just astounding. We find them thriving in the most extreme places you can think of on this planet, from deep inside frozen glaciers to boiling hot springs. Seriously, they are, without a doubt, Earth's ultimate survivors.
Okay, so we've seen how widespread and tough they are. But now, let's look at the dark side. It's time to build the case against these tiny neighbors of ours. And we're going to start with something I guarantee you've experienced.
You know that feeling, right? You're looking for a snack, you reach into the back of the fridge, and you find something fuzzy, something weird. Yeah, that's them. That's the work of microbes. That growth on our food is what we call spoilage, and it basically just ruins it.
And the reason it spoils is actually super simple. Microbes are just living on it, growing, and releasing their byproducts. Think of it as microbial action in its most, let's say, unappetizing form.
And man, this can happen fast, like incredibly fast. All they really need is a bit of moisture and a cozy room temperature, somewhere around 25 to 30 degrees Celsius. Give them that, and they will just multiply like crazy. And it's not just one kind of microbe doing all the work either. Different types prefer different foods, which is why you see all sorts of different molds and decay on everything from your bread to your fruits and vegetables. There's actually a science to all this rotting. When microbes go after sugary foods, we call it fermentation. When they break down proteins, that's putrefaction. And when they get to the fats, it's called rancidity. Basically, 3 different ways they break down food. And yeah, they're all pretty unpleasant. Look, spoiled food is one thing. It's annoying, it's a waste. But the real danger, that comes when some of these microbes get inside our bodies. That's when things get serious. We're talking about infectious diseases. And the culprits are a diverse bunch. You have viruses, right? They cause everything from a simple cold to serious stuff like dengue. Then there are bacteria, responsible for things like tuberculosis and typhoid. Protozoa, they can give you malaria. And even fungi can cause some really nasty skin infections.
I mean, just think about leprosy. It's a really devastating disease caused by bacteria, and it's been plaguing humanity for thousands of years. It's just a grim, stark reminder of the destructive powers some of these tiny organisms can have.
So yeah, the case against microbes seems pretty strong, right? Spoil our food, make us sick. But what if I told you that's only half the story? It's time to flip the script. Let's look at how these exact same tiny organisms are also our greatest, most essential partners.
Okay, check this out. That very same group of organisms, fungi, that turns a loaf of bread into a fuzzy green mess, it's also the exact same thing we need to make fresh, delicious bread in the first place. How wild is that? It's this incredible paradox that really gets to the heart of our relationship with the microbial world. So how on earth does that work? Let's break it down with a super simple experiment you could even do at home. All you do is take some yeast, which, remember, is a fungus, mix it with some sugar and warm water. Then pour that into a bottle and stretch a balloon over the top. You wait like 20 minutes and boom, the balloon starts to inflate. Why? It's because the yeast is alive. It's literally eating the sugar and, as a byproduct, releasing carbon dioxide gas. You're actually seeing the work of an invisible life form right there.
And that little science experiment? That is the exact same process that happens when you bake bread.
Those tiny little gas bubbles get trapped in the dough, which makes it rise, and that's what gives bread that amazing, light, airy texture we love. It's pretty simple. No yeast, no bread.
And it doesn't stop with bread. The beneficial uses are just everywhere. We need them to make things like cheese, yogurt, and even vinegar. They're critical for creating life-saving medicines, like antibiotics and vaccines. They're even used in industry and farming. But maybe, just maybe, their most important job of all is one we barely ever think about.
Think of microbes as the planet's ultimate cleanup crew. They're the great decomposers. They break down all the dead plants and animals, recycling those essential nutrients back into the ecosystem. I'm not exaggerating when I say that without them, our world would literally be buried in its own waste. The entire balance of the environment would just collapse.
All right, so we've seen both sides of the coin now, haven't we? They're destroyers, for sure, but they're also creators. It's a pretty complex relationship. So, let's bring it all together and try to reach a verdict. So back to our original question, friend or foe? And the answer is yes, they're both. On one hand, they spoil our food, they cause terrible diseases, they can even damage our property. But on the other hand, they create food and medicine, they recycle all the waste on the planet, and they maintain the balance of our entire world. The simple truth is, we couldn't survive without the good guys.
So much of our world is shaped by this constant push and pull, this dance between the helpful and the harmful actions of microbes. They are creators and destroyers. They're our greatest allies and, at times, our deadliest enemies. And maybe the real challenge for us, moving forward, is figuring out how we continue to understand and manage this incredibly delicate, powerful, and absolutely essential balance.